Hey, welcome to a new Project Kamp update. So we bought this big piece of land and are prototyping a more sustainable way of living. Not sure how it's gonna go, but let's see. And in the previous video you could see us cleaning up our future kitchen, which is gonna be an important element of eating more sustainable. But besides the building, it's also important where do you actually get your food from. So in today's video we're gonna talk more about that.
Veggies. Yes, where do we get our food and how can we eat more sustainably? Luckily we have a couple of friends that live close by and they grow their own food. They make these great baskets and we are one of the lucky people to buy these baskets and to get our food in a more sustainable way. And funny fact is that this couple that grows these veggies are also the reason why we bought this piece of land.
Yeah, so we're gonna meet them. First we're gonna visit their house and then we're gonna see their farm where these young farmers grow all these vegetables.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Nuno.
We've been living here now for about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And we'll take you around the farm, but we thought we'd start here with the house, because this is where we started, so.
Yeah, we started renovating this side of the house 2.5 years ago, and later, like 3 or 4 months ago, we did the other side of the house.
All the part of the barn.
Could you show me the...
Yeah, sure, come on. So this is our house. We got it, it was from an old guy, a shepherd. He was used to grow sheep here, and he was taking everyone sheep to the mountains in the summer to have the grass on the top of the mountains. And so as my parents live really nearby, when I was a child I was spending a lot of time in this house with the shepherd, and when he died we irritated it. And then we renovated it.
It's nice and cool in here.
Yeah, it's hot outside here. We isolate like with a double glass, and we put before the plywood also that some isolation because the sun really hits up in here. So this is our little guest house. In this side of the house we opened that door, we painted and restored a bit the roof. We clean up the walls, they are really old.
And it's for the volunteers you mentioned?
Yeah, it's for the volunteers because we have a lot of demand for like people who want to learn and work with us, but we had no space for us, we almost did not. Now we are starting to have some space for us and for who wants to join us. So let's go outside and then I can show you our animals. We have some that we mainly keep for the manure they give. We keep also horses. One of them is a draft horse, he's huge, and we are willing to start to use it to work the fields as well with us. Come on.
There's a puppy.
Loading. And now we have to go look for the horses because they have all of this space to walk around. Sometimes they are down there, sometimes they are up there. But usually in the summer and the hot hours of the day, they prefer to be down there because it's cooler with all the trees and the water. He's cute. He doesn't need to. Yeah, he's cute. He just needs some strokes. He is Ringo and he is Ventura. Ringo is with us for 2 years already and Ventura is with us just for 6 months so far. And they are amazing, they poo a lot, and so we use their manure for fertilize our garden. And Ringo, as you can see, is huge, bigger than Ventura, much bigger. He's a draft horse and we are willing to use him as our helper in the garden. He can pull some trailers and even dig a bit the soil if we need. And we can also, when we have some free time, not so far, can dry them. We did this barn. We did last in the end of the last winter because we were saving the hay in the barn right next to the house, and it's very dangerous in the summer with the fires. If we keep a big amount of hay together with the house, it's really dangerous. So we built this barn and that one as well. This one will be the new house for the horses, and now they are living in that blue one we did by ourselves, me and Sara, 2 years ago. But that will stay the compost house. Let's see the chickens. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fresh eggs. Yesterday I got more 6. As we keep the chickens free, sometimes you have to go looking for the eggs.
Oh, you find the eggs there?
Yeah, I found that they are putting there.
And do you know where the chickens are now? They could be anywhere.
They can be anywhere. So now we have 17 chickens. 3 of them are in this fenced part with their chicks. We got them from the chickens in the coop. They reproduce by themselves. They find hidden places in the shrubs to keep eating the eggs for 3 weeks, and then they come back home with a lot of them. And now these ones, little ones, will be in 5 months. The chickens will be giving out these delicious eggs.
And how many eggs do you have, like a week or a day, or you know?
Usually we can have 16, 18 eggs. They put almost 1 egg a day, each chicken, if we find them.
You eat a lot of eggs?
Yeah, we eat a lot of eggs.
And you also eat the chicken?
Well, the males, we let them grow a bit, and then we are not able to do that, so we give them to my mom. She kills them, and then she gives it to us already cooked, and then it's good. She just do not tell to Sara, doesn't tell to Sara, because she prefers to not know they are the chickens. So in this little greenhouse is where we grow our seedlings to later transplant for the fields. It's looking a bit empty now because we are in the end of the season. We have almost everything planted. We have some tomatoes still remaining in here, some onions, some broccoli and some artichoke and parsley and basilico. So this is the place where we live, and it's awesome to have all the seedlings and the little plants right next to our bed. But now we'll show you the place where everything goes and everything grows.
Where you make the money.
Where we make the money, yeah. I will try.
But before we go to their farm, I had 2 more questions for Nuno. Questions I think we could learn from. First up, highway. So they live around here, and the whole land is this area. And the highway is right here. So you live there?
Yeah.
And there is the highway, right?
Yeah, there is the highway.
How does it make you feel? Is it...
Well, I don't like it that much. I remember while they were constructing it, we were already starting to do the big house, my parents' house, and so we stayed and we get used to it. It makes a little bit of noise, but we want to grow bigger trees for protect us a bit more of the noise from the noise.
You still hear it or not? Or you...
Yeah, I hear it, but in the night there are some busy times, but usually in the night it calms down a lot. And down there we don't hear it that much, and we hear much more the birds and that stuff. Yeah.
So what is your best solution against the highway sounds? Like more bird sounds, more trees? Ignore it?
Yeah, I usually try to ignore it because we all use them in the end.
And then one last question about getting water, since we're currently also looking into this topic. And he mentioned they also use a well, just like we plan to do.
This water is still running from the well. The remaining water gets stuck there, but my dad put the pipe inside the well So 5 meters away from the sprout, they build, before we start to live in here, they built this well. It's only 2 meters deep because they start to dig and then they found a really hard rock, really hard granite. So they start exploding a bit, but they could only go 2 meters deep. And so it's the water we have. Sometimes we spend it really quick in the summer when we forget the tap open, it's just gone and then we don't have water and we have to wait for a little bit, not that longer, because then the water starts to accumulate again in the well. And then the water is pulled by an electric water pump. And then we have a little pressure tank to keep the water under pressure.
So pump and pressure tank.
Yeah, pump blue and the pressure tank is grey.
So you've seen the house, so now let's go and see the farm, so our market garden where we grow our vegetables. It's about a 5-minute drive. Well, welcome to the Quinta da Fontanheira market garden, I guess you could call it, where we grow the veg that we sell. I'm just going to show you 3 of our main fields. I mean, it's all terraced here, so we have a lot of different ones. Even I can't remember all of the different names that we give them. And then later on we'll go down and have a look at the barn where we do our packaging and the cleaning station and all of that. So this is Campo do Tanque, because there's a big water reservoir there that we'll see afterwards. This is my personal favourite field. So we did, the first thing we did here was we got a digger and we made some sort of 2-meter deep trenches, lines, and we filled that with organic matter and like wood, and then we planted our fruit trees along with their support trees. So here we have an apple tree, and then it's got fast growing supporting trees around it. And then between these tree trenches, I guess you could call them, then we have four veg beds, courgettes, old peas that need to come out. We're trialing this kind of trellising this year for our tomato plants, and it seems to be going relatively well. I just need to keep them going. We've got some lettuce here going to seed. I want this variety, I like this variety, so I'm going to let it. Here we have a row of raspberries with plum trees. Actually, there are some plums already growing. We can go check it out maybe. And then I have some coriander going to seed, some kale. Ooh, blue tomatoes. They're super pretty, they're my favourite. And they taste good as well. And we've tried to pick one variety of fruit tree per kind of row, but in that row we'll have different types of plums trees so that they give at different times during the year and don't come like, they're not ready all at once basically. And it's cool because this one is almost ready, but the next one along is going to be ready maybe next week or in 2 weeks. You see they're really green still. So all peaches, all different varieties that will give at different times, which is really good for CSA and veg box to not have it all at once. And then we have our first pears. They're really pretty. I've never seen purple pears. They're really purple. And then this next row we have asparagus. You can't see it because it's going to seed, but this is the asparagus. So this is cool. This will last, you know, about as long as a tree basically. 20 years it will be in the ground, but you have to wait 3 years for it to give. And here we've got pear trees. Yeah.
Are you taking them out, or?
What do you mean?
It's in the root, or where does it grow?
Yeah, so this is an asparagus that has gone to seed. So this will have looked like the asparagus you have on your plate, and it's become this. But because the asparagus plant, most of it's under the earth, so you have to wait 3 years for it to get fully established before you start cutting basically the sprouts that come out. So we'll cut this soon and just leave it, and then it will start giving again in the spring. and that's when we'll harvest it. You've seen the tree rows, I guess, which are also mixed. I have a lot of perennial herbs in there, but we focus more on long-term stuff in the trenches, in the rows. And then between these fruit tree rows, we have 4 veg beds. Currently I've got on this side cucumbers growing with onions. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell them fresh or cured yet. It depends on how they grow. And then here I've got kale, which is growing really nicely, as well, and onions as well. So we try to put at least 2 varieties in each veg bed if we can. That's in order to make the best use of space. So for example, the cucumber plant will go up, but then this leaves a nice bit of bed free for other stuff, like for example onions. And then the same thing here. So the kale will, as we harvest the leaves, will just keep growing up above the onions. And then when we take the onions out, I'll actually probably plant something else lower down, beetroot or spinach. Oh look, here there's 3 cucumbers. Crazy. So this is a highly productive plant at the moment. He's decided to produce 3 cucumbers at the same time. We might have to harvest one of those so it doesn't go bad. We have some cinnamon, basil. So these kind of things, like, we like to have, but they're not best sellers because, you know, people don't really know what to do with them. Apart from smell them, they smell really nice. Here.
Cinnamon basil?
Cinnamon basil, yeah. So it's a little bit purple. So this is going to be our last, rather late, seeding or planting, Nuno?
It's planting and it's not light.
Okay, planting of potatoes. So the potatoes are already in the ground, and Nuno is now covering it with some sawdust. That is actually a waste product from a factory down the road. They used to make pallets, so he came and delivered all of this morning. So now Nuno's going to lay it on the ground, and that's going to protect the soil. It's going to retain moisture. And it's going to keep the temperature down as well. So this is our main and only barn, actually. So we use it to store our tools, we use it to prep the boxes, and here we have our new addition this year, which is the washing station, which has been life-changing. It's really helped us. So this table with holes in it is really useful. So for stuff like carrots and beetroot and stuff like that, you just lay them here, and then I take my pressure hose and just wash them here. And then we have this window, which I forgot I have to open from the inside. And this is then where I'll be receiving all of the freshly prepared and washed veg. And then the boxes, I'll set them up here with the name of the client, and then and this is where I do the weighing and kind of prep it, and then they'll go out to the van.
So once the vegetables are ready, they either go into a crate, like the one you saw before, or they go to the local market. So let me show you that.
Put everything out and then I sort it out. Hi! So here we are at our local market in Padua. So during the week we do the veg boxes, and then we come here on the weekend to sell our excess produce. So as you can see, it's still quite a lot of stuff that we have to sell. We really like coming to market. It's more, we get to speak a lot more to our clients. There's a lot of international people living in the hills as well, so it's nice to get to know them. And we're here along with some other local producers. So, you know, have a look. It's a nice market, and maybe see you soon.
And finally, we sat down with Sara and Nuno to ask some tough questions, like, can you sustain yourselves? Do you like the work? What are the challenges? Things we might all learn from.
2.5 years ago?
Yeah, 2.5 years ago.
You go first.
Yeah, actually my family always farmed, but just by themselves. But when I was choosing my degree in university, a friend of mine sent for the air like, farming engineering, blah blah blah, and so I put that in the end of the list, like never waiting to enter in, and then I did it, and so
Because I was living in the city and I was working in an office, and yeah, I just wanted to find a job that was more active and more outdoors. And I had a podcast about permaculture and decided that made a lot of sense. Mainly the agroforestry system, so combining sort of veg with trees, fascinated me from the first time I heard it, and so that's what we're doing, so I'm really happy. It's exhausting, but we have to like it, and we do like it.
Yeah. Then you also enjoy when you rest.
Yeah. When's that?
When happens, yeah. Grasses. Yeah.
Oh, because of animals. I would grow melons. Love melons.
Melons. That's a good one, yeah, melons. Yeah, like find the barrier between work and life. I think that's
sometimes a lack of preparation, I guess. We go into things without having everything set out.
Yeah, because when you, as you are working with the seasons, you have some jobs that have to be done in that time, and if you miss it because you're not prepared, or first, if you are not prepared, it will take much longer to do the job, and you will delay the job, and then you lose the time when you should be doing the job, and then that gives you more extra job you wouldn't need if you could be done that job in that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I received a message from one of your colleagues, Katerina. She was in the area looking for land, so Katerina came to visit with Adrian, and we had seen land nearby when we were looking for a place to garden, but it was far too big for what we wanted to do, so we took them round, and yeah, we're happy that you guys are our new kind of neighbours. I guess in a city would be not neighbours at all, but here it's almost what you call the grass patches. I thought they were really cool.
Yeah, and the fact you have the full hill, like from the bottom, from the stream to the top of the hill, the big rock, like you have for fires and everything, you can manage it much better than if you have just part of a hill. And because it was burned, and we were looking for burned land in that time. Yeah.
Well, I was born a foreigner. I was grew up in France, so I feel pretty at home, surprisingly so, but I guess I've moved around a lot, so I'm comfortable with my foreign status.
It's great, because the Portuguese people is going abroad, or to Lisbon or Porto or Coimbra, so naturally some people have to come. So even for the old people, the old ones, they like it, because they see someone who likes the places and who wants to stay, while the sons and the daughters and grandsons and granddaughters, they don't want to stay. So yeah, the land has to be occupied and worked by someone, and it looks like now it's more foreigners who are enjoying here.
Intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so this year we're going to try and find some more time for some personal projects of ours.
Yeah.
To also focus on, to kind of make it a little bit more diverse in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah. Are you calling me boring?
No. I'm calling our day to
yeah,
just
it's
diversify.
It's intense, yeah.
But we manage.
Yeah. yeah, we tried to manage.
It hasn't been easy so far. The nice thing is that, well, mainly we're a bit behind on our marketing, but we're seeing that as we're starting to get the fruit from the fruit trees, everything's getting slightly easier. We may have to start selling slightly less locally in order to make ends meet, so to speak. So we're considering selling in Coimbra, which is our nearest city, just because it's hard to get enough clients to sustain a CSA if it's just in a rural setting. A lot of people have fruit trees, a lot of people have summer gardens, so we just need, we're still going to make some changes and adjustments in order to make that work. Come and visit.
Yeah, woofing.
Not just woofing, but also all the projects going on here. There's more going on around here than you'd expect.
But I mean, you could also mention if you want, like we need people to help out. I don't know if this is a good place for you guys, but
yeah, we definitely need people to help out, and we've recently finished a room and with a private bathroom to receive long-term volunteers in mainly spring and autumn. I think those are the times that we need the most help, but also the nicest times to come and visit, because it gets pretty cold in the winter and pretty hot in the summer. So
and keep wild.
Keep wild.
Are we getting our souvenir?
A souvenir. This guy looks like he wants to go home with you. We'll give him a friend, shall we?
Thank you.
You can go see, maybe he'll migrate to yours. Should we put him on another flower?
So yeah, that was Sara and Nuno. It's been really nice actually to have them around. It's like having our local friends that are still young. And we don't have many of those around. And hopefully soon we can use their vegetables to cook them in this kitchen. Probably still gonna take a while because this kitchen is still pretty rough. And actually next week's update, number 28, we're gonna show our current challenges, where we do every 8 videos. So video 8, 18 and 28. And we're also going to do a Q&A, so if you have any questions you want to get answered, make sure to post them in the comments below and vote on questions you like so they rise up so we can answer them. And you can really ask anything. So go wild and see you next week.